Silicon Steve Valley, Vladi Dottie, we are here and we are high spots and cheap pops, talking the very best of professional wrestling in the world today.
Speaking of perfection, we got our buddy Chris Jericho leeching off of Hook at this point. And you and I have discussed it recently, and I'll throw it out there. Hook has potential, but he's very green, and it's starting to get to be too much too fast. And again, the reason it's becoming this is because Jericho has a drive to remain relevant, especially as Tony Khan is signing these people such as Okada, Mercedes Moné, Will Ospreay. That is eating into valuable TV time for Chris Jericho's ego. And I gotta say, this thing, I almost feel like sympathy for Hook. And again, it's Jericho playing it up like, hey, I'm helping him out. And then, like here, you and I, as we were discussing pre-production, this latest match that they had one-on-one with Jericho in Toronto, highly reminiscent of like a cheap suit version of Brock Lesnar and John Cena.
SummerSlam, yeah, it's 2015.
Yeah. And again, this is showing you, to me, like Jericho sort of is thinking, hey, I'm at Cena's level and I can, and we can build up Hook in this way. And it's nowhere near. And Jericho, he was in Canada. They're no longer playing Judas for whatever reason. He's going through his Lionheart phase. The fans love to sing along with it. They've sort of taken that away. I feel when he comes out there now, more than ever even, so it's falling way flat. And, like, I just feel he's sort of stifling Hook's progress. But right now, we don't need to see all of Hook's progress because, hey, we just mentioned names like Mercedes Moné, Will Ospreay, and Okada. So, again, we have to deal with this for the time being. Next week, Jericho has some sort of conversation he wants to have with them, which I don't understand why. Can't Tony Khan just say, hey, have it off camera. We have other things to go and entertain people with.
He's going to ask them to be in a tag team.
Yeah, and go in the tournament, right?
Silly.
Well, we can do it. You really shoved me something out there, kid. I haven't seen it since ECW, since I wrestled with your dad.
I think Hook turns him down.
Oh, that'd be great.
And then Jericho turns on him, and it'll be his 15th heel turn in the last 3 years.
And Sammy Guevara shows up.
He's a babyface again. I mean, we've talked about it with Jericho. We've said this is an ongoing thing. It's been now 2 or 3, and again, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it was okay because he was the big name. He was your first AEW world champion. He did everything that needed to be done. He was a catalyst and a real guy to help put AEW on the map. He hasn't been that guy in at least 2 years. And everybody that he brings in and gets involved with, and you can start with MJF, really, in many respects. Fast forward a little bit, because that was still early when Jericho was still on top. The list goes on. Ricky Starks, Hook, Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara, and there's several more. Adam Cole even. He feels like he's given a rub. It's a narcissistic thing, really. Yep. That's my thing. I don't think Jericho thinks he's holding these guys back. I think he thinks he's getting them over at. Or do you think he is like, I got to stay relevant, so I got to do everything I can? I don't know which one it is. Maybe it's a combination of both. But this is the same old thing with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is a mid-Carter. And unless he reinvents himself again in a much cooler way, because the last couple sucked, that's who Chris Jericho is now. The problem is he's got Tony Khan's ear, and he's still going to be on TV. Unless there's major, major backlash on Chris Jericho from the gatekeepers. And the gatekeepers like Jericho because he was in OG. Yeah. So that's what it is. But you and I are not the only ones who are talking about this with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is getting to a point where he's embarrassing himself. And I'm over it. You're over it. A lot of people are over it. And the fact that he's Lionheart again. Okay. He always brings back, and that's the other thing he does. He always brings back these old alter egos because he's reinvented himself so much. Yeah. I mean, dude, give me something new or get out of the way. That's where we are with Jericho, but it's not going to change because, again, I think he's the highest paid guy there prior to all these newcomers. He's one of the highest paid guys there. He has the most influence over Tony Khan. So there's not much we can do except bitch and complain about it, and God damn it, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Thank you so much for watching High Spots and Cheap Pops. For Vladi Dottie, this is Silicon Steve Alley. Hit the subscribe button and let us know what you think. Thank you for watching, and here endeth the lesson.